So here we are at Wilton Park, yeah, it's a park in Batley, West Yorkshire, and it's alright, yeah. Batley and Dewsbury gets a bad rap, but this place ain't so bad. There's a nice bin, yeah, and there's a lake, that nice big lake, some sports grounds up there, but we're going to start our adventure going up here. Rosie has found a sticky. Okay, it's nice here, there's all sorts of different landscapes. We'll just have a bit of a walk down. These flowers are quite interesting. Not sure of the name, but they look like things, don't they? And when they first come out, if you tap your finger on the whatever these are, the buds, sometimes they pop. They make a big popping sound. So when all these flowers are all just about to bloom, there might be some rain or something, or there might even just be a strong wind, and you'll just hear a load of popping like fireworks. It's all these flowers popping into existence. Nature's interesting, isn't it? I like all the structure in those branches. It's oriented, isn't it? Yeah, we're approaching a junction in the path. This is a rhododendron. You get some nice flowers on, some big flowers. They seem to grow everywhere around here, rhododendron. It used to be quite a prized plant in England, but now they just grow everywhere like a weed in places. Like an old footbridge. This old concrete footbridge looks really out of place here, but there you go. It looks like some out of like a World War II bunker or something. And yeah, the woodland, like I presume it's partly managed, but partly not. You know, we've got a lot of cut down trunks and stuff, but we've also got a lot of just of the, you know, the vegetation just left where it lands. Yeah, like things are cut down, but you know, and then left. So the grubs and whatever can live in the trunks. Dylan, age 8. The dragonfly. Oh man. That's a big sticky. Can you handle a big stick like that? Yeah. Plenty of experience, haven't you? Who's a good girls? Okay, if you haven't realised already, a lot of this park is on a big hill. Yeah, when you get to the top, there's something to see. So I'll show you. I think it's called the Bagshaw building or Bagshaw House, right? Not entirely sure what the history of this house is, but they have like exhibits there. There seems to be like a long running Egyptian exhibit or something there, right? Bagshaw Museum. Sometimes schools have school trips here and stuff like that. I don't remember ever going in it. So if you want to know more about that place, you'll have to look it up. You're not going to get that information here. But there's this, and I like this garden here. It's like a little secret garden almost. Like I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's stupid, but like it just reminds me like of a fairy tale garden. I can imagine like fairies playing in this fountain, or gnomes, or all this sort of nonsense. You know, it's obviously stupid, but I don't know. It's just got a vibe as this place. I like it. And it's partly maintained, but not properly. You know. The grass is cut. To be fair, it were a lot worse looking than this. It looks like they've given it some care and attention recently. Yeah. So it's an interesting tree. It looks like it's died. They haven't cut it. They've obviously molested the top of it, but just left it. Yeah. So like the bugs and the birds and whatever can use this trunk, they can use it. It's there for them. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Like how it's stripped, all the bark's looks like it's been stripped and it's all just turned into this pale white. And then, you know, all this texture, I suppose. I believe it's the old bark, but the way it's peeling back. There's some really strange, interesting forms in that. But if this had just been cleared up, you know, like maybe I could find some inspiration, some artistic inspiration in that. But if this trunk had been cleared up, I would have never got that inspiration, would I? So here we go. I've found some what I'd call ugly here. Like, I don't like these concrete bridges. Yeah, they look out of place. They don't look right. I think they could have been improved. Now here, can you see these stones? Like, this has been placed. This is its purpose is this. You know, we've got a nice staircase up there someone's put together, but I don't see what purpose this is serving. You know, it's not looking good. Or, I mean, there's some ferns growing down there, and there don't seem to be any ferns growing anywhere else. So maybe it's a habitat what they've set up. Yeah, but I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing much habitat there. Yeah, maybe you are. Maybe you can tell me, right? Okay, we just reached a nice open part. I just love the trees. Like, obviously, if you're English and you're from round here, like, what you talk about trees, yeah, you've seen a million trees, haven't you? You've seen them all in your life. But go to Poland. You go to Poland and you try and find a tree like this with any sort of form or structure to it. You'll struggle. They're all straight up and down. Miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of it. You know, the natural countryside is like that, and a lot of it's replanted as well. But still, you know, like, I appreciate my local surroundings a lot more since I've travelled a little bit. You know, I've opened my eyes. And again, like, getting to know the Polish culture. You know, like, there's elements I like and there's elements I don't like. But it's opened my eyes to the culture here and what I don't like and what I do like. You know, you need to open your mind. You need to go to different places, don't you, to gain some understanding, some perspective. Okay, so we've come back down off the hill, and this is like the main run. I think it might have been an old railway line or something like that. Okay, and down here we've got some lakes and stuff, which we'll get to. Just like a thing here with some carving to the lake. That's a cycle path, and apparently a fent moot. I don't know, something about a fent moot. Here we go. Down here, Rosie, come on. Whoa. I lost my hat. Whoa. I found a wife though. There's that. So, obviously I think this were an old railway and this is a bridge. Yeah. But I think this goes down to like a yard. I really don't know what's going on with this little bit, but it's all like fenced off. I think it ends up to someone's establishment, whatever. Yeah, so there's a fully equipped kids part this way. I'm not going to obviously show any of that. But then we've got a nice like wild bird pond like that. I'll just have a walk up and walk around this. There's all sorts of different species of birds here. So there's geese and pigeons, and there's seagulls in the middle. There's usually swans as well, ducks. You know, it's a bit like Dewsbury Batley. You know, there's people from all sorts of backgrounds around here. You know, obviously I'm white English, but you know, there's Asian people, there's European people, there's African people, I believe. Sort of East Asian people. I don't generally see any Americans. Don't see many like Canadians or Mexicans or anything. But apart from that, there seems to be pretty much everyone else all living here. And you know, there's some ups and downs, and the community could be tighter, I reckon. But we don't have any problems. You know, we do coexist. This idea of like multiculturalism, like. It's got its problems, yeah. It's got its troubles, but it's, you know, it can work. It can work. You know, I live somewhere where it works. You know, could it be better? Sure, but I think we could all work together to improve as joint society. Yeah. Here we go, a little bit further up. So we've got the swans. It looks like someone's obviously built a load of little bird huts and little houses and whatnot on this little island here in the middle of the lake. And it's nice, you know, like the birds have got a little home, that's somewhere to live, yeah. But, you know, like Dewsbury and Batley gets a bad rep, you know, and, you know, there's a lot of crime and stuff, and there's, obviously you know, like there's been some bad stuff, hasn't there, going on recently, you know, around this area. But, like, there's no one coming trashing all these birds' houses or anything. You know, like there is a level of respect around here. You know, it's just you don't get to see it. You know, you got to look, you got to find it. You know, it's not as obvious as what you think. You know, you got to be careful not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you catch my drift. These are some nice roots here, but I'm hunting for duck butts. There's some duck butts. Show me your duck butts. You must have some duck butts there. Whoa. No duck butts. Okay, so we're just like coming up to the main entrance of this park, and we've got like a big flagpole here. I'm not sure if you can see it. It says Green Flag Award 2023. You know, like this is the nice end. Yeah, this is where it's well managed. Yeah, it's only a small part of it, but you know, this area here, I'm really not entirely sure what this is here at the end of the lake, but it's, you know, they've spent some money to build it. You know, it's summer, but you tell me what this is, because I got no bloody idea, right? But look, it's summer. I presume it's supposed to have some water running down it, maybe, yeah, like a cascade, but I've never ever seen any water running down it. Yeah, maybe when it first opened, when they put the flag up, they had water running, and that was yeah. You know, money gets spent sometimes, but it's just for show, innit? It don't mean out, you know. But saying that, this park here, you know, it's maintained in a good way, in a healthy way. I do like it. I appreciate it being on my doorstep and being able to come visit it whenever I want. Yeah, and just before we leave, there's some sporting facilities as well. So these fields here are bowling greens. Well, I haven't seen any use. Yeah, they used to be active a few years ago, but obviously they're all overgrown and not used at the moment. And then we've got some tennis courts, 4 tennis courts, and some basketball and some football areas as well. Yeah. It looks like there might be a little club shed there. There might be sports teams and stuff using these grounds as well. I have to look it up.